About 2 hours into the rollout. We are go weather-wise for the rollout. There are no constraints. They do expect to have only about a 10% chance of a wind violation. The forecast is for northeasterly winds 15 to 24 knots during the rollout period, increasing 17 to 25 knots after 7 a.m. Currently, the winds have dropped down some and are 16 to 19 knots. So with the go given for jacking and leveling, first motion should be our next significant activity to occur. Entire launch is over at about 2 minutes and 31 seconds after liftoff. The vehicle will be heading straight east from the Cape, unlike Space Shuttle, which tends to go more toward the northeast and heading up the coast as it heads toward the space station. The Ares 1X is going to fly straight up and straight out. And Ares 1X is rolling. 1:39 a.m. Eastern Time. Ares 1X is beginning its 4.2 mile roll to launch pad 39B. And we're now 30 seconds into the roll. This picture looking out from VAB High Bay 3 toward the Ares 1X rocket, which is now fully outside of High Bay 3 and being bathed in xenon lights. It begins its journey. Looking toward the bottom of the Ares 1X, gradually panning up the rocket. And the weight of the Ares 1X, as we see it there on the mobile launcher platform with the crawler transporter, is 16 million pounds. That 16 million includes the crawler transporter, the mobile launcher platform, and the Ares 1X vehicle, which weighs 1.81 million pounds. We're looking at the aft of the mobile launcher platform and crawler transporter as seen from VAB High Bay 3, looking out toward the vehicle, and the crawler transporter now gradually moving up to its 0.8 of a mile an hour planned speed as it goes to the launch pad. And once the rollout began, there has not been any reason to stop so far.
Phil Keating, who's been on duty there for the last 36 hours or so. Is it going to happen now finally a few minutes after 9?
Everyone is optimistic. 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. That's the earliest that we may get this very important test flight of the Ares 1X rocket off of Launch Pad 39B, which is behind me. If we can take a closer up look there, actually, we've got it on the split screen. The final inspection team is just now leaving the launch pad. Last night, there was a storm that moved through the area. 4 lightning bolts struck within half a mile of the launch pad, but we are told not one of those lightning bolts struck the rocket nor the launch pad itself. However, early this morning, launch managers right now getting the final reports from all of the inspection teams that were going through all of the computer systems, just making sure nothing got fried by last night's electrical storm. Now, this is the future of human space travel. No more shuttle stacks, big orange external fuel tank, and solid rocket boosters after the space shuttle fleet is retired. That is scheduled for next year at this point. The future development by NASA is to have a big rocket stack like this, and right below that little needle there at the top of the tall rocket, there is a little triangle cone that would be the capsule in the future where the astronauts would actually be, and eventually, according to plans, perhaps land on the moon, maybe land on an asteroid, and maybe land on a moon of Mars. All of that very far down the road, and according to a recent White House commission, it will require additional billions and billions of dollars. But this test flight today will really give rocket scientists here on the ground a better assessment as to how this rocket design will perform actually in real time. Back to you.
All right.
Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. Right now, the launch advisory team and Ares 1X launch management are going through all of the work from last night to assure that everything is flight ready for the launch vehicle, particularly in view of all the retesting that's been done this morning to check any anomalies that may have come about from a thunderstorm. That's a fairly extensive list of things that has to be discussed. So right now we're still targeting no earlier than 9 o'clock for launch. However, that is likely to be extended. So right now we're just standing by to see what updates come for our launch time. But right now we're no earlier than 9, but that's appearing unlikely. And now we're at launch pad 39B, where we see the teams preparing to move back the access arm, the upper stage access arm. And then the preparations to retract the rotating surface structure as well. Here's the first motion of the rotating surface structure. And the vertical stabilization system being pulled away from the rocket yesterday. And the upper stage, which extends almost 100 feet above the top of the fixed surface structure. And from pad 39B, looking over to Space Shuttle Atlantis on pad 39A. And right now our range safety checks with the Eastern Range are going on. And there is discussion going on about the weather and what time we might have an opportunity to launch. Right now we're set up to launch no earlier than 9:15. That's our latest time as far as the launch team's launch preparations are concerned. However, looking at the weather, it appears that we may not have an opportunity until later rather than sooner. Might T-minus 4 minutes and holding. Joining us here now in the Mission Director Center is our Deputy Mission Manager, John Cowart, once again. And John, I think first of all, you can give us an outbrief on what the new projected launch time is going to be, and then maybe go into what we've been doing over the last couple of hours, because there have been a lot of things both to do and to discuss. But first of all, tell us where we're going with our launch window.
Well, George, as you can imagine, things are pretty dynamic weather-wise, and with the lightning we had last night, that contributed to it as well. Currently, with the weather aircraft out there and looking at the situation, we are currently red only due to weather as it stands right now. They got the weather aircraft out there flying around looking for an opening to get past our good friend Tribro Electrification. And right now the first best opportunity appears to be around 10:30 this morning Eastern Time. So what they're going to do is they will reset the clock to look for that. As you can see, we are postured at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. If for all of a sudden something earlier were to pop up, there's always a possibility, if we thought the hole was big enough, that we could pull it back in and try that. But right now, for everybody's planning purposes, we're going to shoot for about a 10:30 T0.
This is Atlantis on pad 39A. And the Ares 1X up to the north on pad 39B. The Ares 1X was undergoing the integrated systems test at this time, verifying that the rocket was indeed ready to fly. Looking toward We are now 25 minutes from launch, still at T-minus 4 minutes and holding.
Launch director, the aircraft calling it hit or miss at the moment. Okay, just let us know how long you think that opportunity will be once it opens. When you're ready, thanks. Range weather.
Yes, the aircraft said 5 minutes about 30 seconds ago would be when we'd be clear. Can't give us a good time for how long we will be clear, though.
Understood. Appreciate the update. Launch director, you copy? Yeah, I copy. And for range weather, we need at least 5 or 6 minutes of clear to get through the last minute polls and then a 4-minute count. So we are looking for a 5 to 6 minute window.
Understood. We asked for a time, and the aircraft said they just can't give it to us. Too dynamic.
Okay. Copy that.
Roll.
Copy range weather. And let's see then, range weather, you are ready to resume count and go for launch then, correct? Range weather?
Range weather is green.
Copy. And RCO, LTD, are you also go for launch in this, is where we are?
At this time, I'm go for launch.
Okay. And launch director, LTD. This is launch director, go ahead. Okay, we are green on all counts at this time, and our launch team is ready to proceed. Copy that. You have a go to proceed towards this flight test. Copy. And for all personnel, we're going to resume in just over 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
LTD RCO 232.
Go ahead.
Also at this time, you have clear to launch.
Thank you, RCO. And we're 1 minute, 10 seconds from resuming.
The ground computers will hand over to the Ares 1X onboard flight computers at T-minus 80 seconds. Standing by to pick up the count in 15 seconds.
On my mark, time will be T-minus 4 minutes and counting. 3, 2, 1, mark. T-minus 4 minutes and counting.
11:30 is our launch time.
T-minus 3 minutes, 30 seconds, FTS SNA armed. T-minus 3 minutes, 25 seconds, SRM ignition, SNA armed.
That's the range safety systems being armed. The vehicle will go to internal power at T-minus 1 minute, 59 seconds.
T-minus 3 minutes, fan power secured.
T-minus 2 minutes, 15 seconds. T-minus 2 minutes. Vehicle going to internal power. Ares 1X now on its own power. Now applying power to the DFI, the Development Flight Instrumentation. Flight data recorders are activated. Launch is enabled for the flight control system. T-minus 90 seconds. And the handoff of the ground computers to the Ares 1X flight computer has occurred. T-minus 1 minute. Sound suppression water system now armed. The solid rocket booster joint heaters are being turned off. And we're now go inertial. The navigation system is activated. Auxiliary power units have started. Solid rocket motor nozzle gimbal checks are underway. Ignition system is armed. Sound suppression water system is activated. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Ares 1X. Testing concepts for the future of new rocket design.
Altitude now 2 miles. Chamber pressure now tapering off as designed. The vehicle is aligned itself with the planned trajectory. We passed Mach 1 and we're now passing Max Q. We have our Max Q system ID maneuver PTI engaged. Solid motor chamber pressure picking up again. T plus 62 seconds. Now passing Mach 2. Vehicle now 10 miles altitude, downrange distance 8 miles, and a velocity of 1,540 miles per hour. Plus 80 seconds, we've started our supersonic large amplitude ID maneuver PTI. We see the response. Started the last PTI maneuver, structural mode ID, and we passed T plus 105 seconds. Vehicle's now traveling Mach 4, 20 miles altitude, downrange distance 32 miles. The SRM tail-off is observed. Burnout. Our APUs have shut down. CRDs have shut down. BDM fire. And SEP. We show a SEP. We'll have a burnout orbit parameter in just a second. These numbers were calculated right at burnout. The height of apogee, 21.92 nautical miles. And again, that's not peak altitude because the vehicle was still drifting up, but that is at burnout. Coming up on T plus 190 seconds. After vehicle separation, we have no guidance telemetry return. We're still looking at a good telemetry signal. And we can confirm the aeroshell separation.
So our telemetry engineer Mark Levine making the telemetry calls, assisted by J.J. Joyner.
Up on plus 235 seconds.